Is it true that you are a resident of Logan?
Yes.
And is it true that you're a close friend with the Johnson family?
Well, we used to be.
Is it true that you once worked as a night shift cop for the Lawton Police Department?
Yeah, but I work in it, so.
So you have a solid understanding of how a typical response to a report of murder would take place, including average response times and questioning procedures.
Yeah, I think so.
So, is it true that you previously worked as a head detective for the Lawton Police Department before retiring?
Yes.
And while working as a detective, you investigated 8 murders, correct?
Yes.
So you seem to have a solid understanding of how a typical murder investigation would work as well, including signs that a detective might look for when a murder happens.
Yes.
And is it true that you are working as a sales representative in the technology industry currently?
Yes.
And is it true that you believe this job to be very stressful?
Yeah, tough time.
And is it true that this job is commission-based?
Yes.
So in this economy, is it true that you're having a tough time selling products?
Yeah, honestly.
And you've been going through financial troubles, correct?
Yeah.
Is it true that due to your financial situation, you've had to move out of your house into a smaller apartment?
Yeah.
And is it true that before Tracy's death, you asked Pat to lend you some money?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
And is it true that he declined to lend you any money despite being a billionaire?
Yeah, but I understand.
Why do you think that he declined?
I'm not sure, but
Is it true that his refusal to lend you money made you angry and disappointed?
a little at first, but I got over it.
Is it true that you own a key to the Johnson house?
Yes.
And is it true that you use this key to hang out at their house whenever you like to?
Yes.
And it's true that you have the potential to enter their house at any time you'd like?
Yes.
Is it true that you built a wine cellar in the Johnson basement a few years ago?
Yeah.
And is it true that this basement is right next to the boiler room where Tracy was killed?
Yes.
So you have a pretty good understanding of how their house is laid out, including how the basement and boiler room is laid out.
Well, it was a long time ago, so.
Is it true that you had a pretty personal relationship with Pat?
Yeah, before, yeah.
And is it true that you hung out on countless occasions while Pat would get drunk at parties and such?
Yeah.
And while he's drunk, is it true that he would sometimes reveal to you personal details about his life, including material such as his lack of faith to his wife, that you could use to blackmail him in the future, potentially?
I don't know.
Is it true that you had the Johnsons over for dinner the night before the murder?
Yes.
And is it true that you and Pat were drinking wine along with dinner?
Yeah. I only had a glass or two.
Okay, but Pat was drinking as well, so. And is it true that you arrived at Pat's house the morning of the murder soon after Tracy was discovered to be missing?
Yeah, I got over there as fast as I could.
And you saw the ransom note left at the scene, correct?
Yes.
How much was the ransom?
$218,000.
And were you aware of Pat's bonus that year?
Yeah.
How much was his bonus?
$218,000.
The ransom note found said that the kidnappers would call at 10 a.m. Is it true that you waited by the phone with Jules at 10 a.m.?
Yes.
And is it true that you decided to conduct a search for Tracy in the house a bit later in that day?
Yes.
And is it true that the basement was the first location you searched?
Well, Pat wanted me there.
But is it the first location that you searched?
Yeah.
Is it true that you and Pat were together when Tracy was found?
Yeah. Pat led me straight to the boiler room.
And is it true that after turning the lights on to reveal Tracy, you ran directly upstairs to break the news?
I needed to get help from Tracy.
But did you run directly upstairs to break the news? Yes. So you didn't even go up close to Tracy to check if she was alive before going upstairs to break the news of her death,
My
correct?
first thought was help.
But you didn't even check if she was alive, you just assumed she was dead, correct?
I didn't know.
So, and do you know who Morgan Query is?
Yes.
And is it true that you believe that he is a screw-up?
I understand that.
Can we read from the testimony?
You have a statement?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're asking me if you could read from the sworn statement? Okay, what page?
I think it's his third page.
Is there?
Yeah. page 18. Says,
Let me know if you could,
paragraph 3,
okay, and page,
page 18.
okay, just one moment. Prosecution, any objection?
No.
Okay. You can use,
The sentence just says Morgan is a screw-up.
okay.
So,
All right.
no further questions.
Can you redirect?
Yes, Sean. What can you tell me about Pat's drinking habits?
Well, he was pretty aggressive with the bottle, and he was getting me some times, and a lot of the times Jules would have to drive him home.
You said that you helped build the wine cellar in the basement, correct?
Yes.
Was there anyone else who helped build this wine cellar?
Well, Pat.
And with regards to Pat not loaning you the money you asked for, how does that make you feel now?
Now I'm not really bothered by it.
And for what reasons do you call Morgan Query a screw-up?
It's because he falsified information.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Can you recross? May this witness step down? Yes. Thank you. Anything further from